We are super reluctantly back with this cabinet. Part one of this video, you saw me put so much care and effort into painting this layer of blue that I absolutely hate. It's been 3 days. I have been in a mild depression ever since. But I have gone back to the hardware store, spoken with someone. I think I have a new color. It was suggested that we give a rough sand, which I'm gonna do first. I also think this time that we are not going to tape and we're just gonna scrape the paint off after the fact. The tape just, it's probably easier to just scrape the paint off. So we're going right in. Let's do it. So you ask, why are we doing this again? Well, I wanted a red inner, blue outer cabinet. I, however, picked the absolute wrong blue, but the red will stay. The blue on the outside is really what is causing me the most distress. So we're going to sand it down, go over it with a sample that's really already primed to the color that I'm thinking in a different finish. So that way it acts as a primer, but also it is to see what the color looks like. Then if we love it, we'll go back over it with the semi-gloss, touch up the inside, put the stuff back in, style it up, and call it done. Since we have to go back over it anyway, I'm just taking the opportunity to sand away any small areas where paint might have gathered and created a texture or a little glob or something in these fine areas. Then I'm just gonna hit this with the sander and I'll be ready to go in with my primer. Because the paint isn't fully cured, I'm finding that if I sand too much, I'm just peeling the paint off. So I'm not really gonna go over all of it too much with my hand, but the sander gives a much more even sand to the sides. It's our moment of truth on our new color. I really, really, really hope that I like it because I'm ready to move on. Painting the cabinet in this color, stepping back was so traumatic. I don't want to do that again. I want this to be it. No more trauma. Here we go. Mineral Alloy is the new color. I felt like we needed a little more gray, a bluish gray, because y'all know I don't like gray. Let's put a little bit on the cabinet, see what we think. Or do we have to go back to the paint store? I don't want to. I don't want to, I don't want to, I don't want to.
Like a completely different color now.
But that looks very gray. Is it too gray? I don't know. It looks so much more blue in the can. But this type of paint is supposed to have more pigment. So like, that's why the other one looked more red than, like the primer looks more red than the paint because this paint has more pigment. All I can do is paint some, let it dry, see what it says. If all else fails, this can be our primer, and then the color, the next darker color is definitely more blue and might have to be our color. Also, it's gonna be really hard to tell against the horrible blue. I'm just gonna forge ahead. It's gonna forge ahead. It's like if this was all the color, this is no color. I feel like, Sean, have you ever seen Pleasantville? That was her movie. And yeah, everybody starts off black and white and then they have sex. I don't know. It's very gray. It is blue. It's a gray blue, which is what I thought I wanted. But maybe because I'm standing in a room that's gray, like I have intentions on adding color to the room, without question it's better. Also making me think maybe I should go with a more matte finish. This is an eggshell instead of a glossy, but I just don't know.
Celia said, this is what the new color is going to look like, and it can't even get
It's just on that side. Oh, I moved it.
So you can't.
It's hard on the, cause it's not a flat surface. Like if I do the wall.
Can you go closer?
Like if I do the wall.
Let's go closer.
So let's take a minute from making over our bar cabinet to talk about today's video sponsor, which is perfect, fits in perfectly, and it is Bright Cellars. Bright Cellars is a way to get personalized wine choices delivered directly to your door. I loved this experience, and I think you guys will too. So I mostly prefer red wines. So in my box, I got mostly red wine, 4 bottles of red, but they also sent 2 bottles of white, one with notes of lychee, cantaloupe, and grapefruit that I have to admit I am very excited to try. Each bottle also comes with an information card. On that information card is listed the flavors, the profile, the alcohol percentage, the best temperature to serve the wine, and best ways to pair it. And one thing I love, they always add a little funny one, and this one is winding down after work. Some of them that we got say like, after putting together some IKEA furniture. Like there's always some funny, quirky thing. It also tells you where in the world the wine is from and has a really easy QR code so that you can log into your Bright Cellars account, save the wine when you've decided that it's one that you love or one that you hate, and that way the next box of wine that comes to you is even better. So of the 6 bottles that we received, Sean and I have already dived into 2 and they were fantastic. The others I am saving for a gathering of girlfriends that I plan to have here at the house next weekend. That's another great thing about Bright Cellars. This holiday season, or really any time of the year that you're hosting, it takes one thing off your list. You don't have to go out looking for wine because you already have wine that you know you're going to love already at home. Right now, Bright Cellars is offering my viewers $50 off their first 6-bottle wine box. So be sure to check out the link in the description to give Bright Cellars a try. Video sponsors go a long way to help us keep making the content you love, so supporting them supports us. So I really want to say a very big thank you to Bright Cellars for sponsoring today's video. Off camera, Sean keeps yelling at me about making the cabinet red. I've looked at so many blues. The blue that we landed on, was essentially the same blue as the chairs, the school chairs. I don't want that. That blue is already in the space. So I'm gonna try what Sean keeps hollering about and do the outside red. Let's just test it and see. Who cares how many layers of paint we put on the cabinet?
There it is. That's it. You hear that? That's the sound of your audience applauding you.
I'm gonna finish at least some so I can get an idea. I don't know. I do very much like the red, more so than any of the blues.
Oh.
I feel like a smile wants to creep on my face because maybe this is the answer. Sean said that this color combination looks like a hospital, patient, and blood. And I disagree.
Comment below if you agree.
He says, comment below if you agree. He always asking y'all to comment on something crazy. Okay, it feels like a month, probably more like 2 weeks, since our dining room has been all shaken up because of this cabinet. I've reached the end of my rope. We like the red. Is it my favorite? I don't know. Do I like it better than the blues? Yes. Do I like it better than any of the blues I thought about yesterday? Also, yes. So we're forging ahead. I got my things. I also really like this because I don't have to go to the hardware store and get any more paint. I'm gonna use what I got to get what I want. It's paint. Let's get some painting. It's paint. It's time to paint.
You guys can't hear me, but I told Celia yesterday and this morning, you got enough paint? She said, yeah, we'll be all right.
I'm so hopeful that this will get me through. I might need a sample size. I don't know if they do this in the sample size, but I will ask because I do not want to buy it. Although I do like this color. So if I had to have more of it, I'm not that mad at it. Y'all, if you see me get on here talking about refinishing or redoing another piece of furniture, just remind me of this journey. Woo, okay? I'm outdone.
Spend some positivity.
Sean's been really helpful. I don't know exactly where the hard time is coming from. We should have probably sprayed it, but I don't own a sprayer. I don't know anything about spraying. We had to do so much to like spray in here. We don't have a garage we can move this to spray, but I do still really like the color. And I think that when the whole room comes together, I'm gonna like it a lot. Sean wants me to start by admitting that he's been right about this project the whole time. I'll let him have it. Sean has been right about this project mostly.
You can't even admit it, bro.
Mostly the whole time. He suggested when we first started that we should take the doors off. And
we know that y'all been saying that in y'all head.
I was leery because it's old and I don't want to struggle to put the doors back on. However, I'm very bothered by the way the paint is coming out. Like when you try to paint in here, it's leaving goops and gobs on that side. The hinges are brass, but even the color, the white that it was before, is already on the hinge, and I would just prefer them to be brass. So I want to remove them, boil them, and see if we can get the paint off of them and just let them be brass. Now the end is in sight now.
So far. Just took the door hinges off. We had no clue how to put them back on.
Yeah, we do. The end is in sight now. This is it. It's happening. So we got them down. This is parents burning the midnight oil. I tried to get all of the spots that I was unhappy with, like any heavy spots, and now I'm going over those again with the more pigmented primer before we go back in with the glossy. I'm trying to go slow, be patient, pay attention to detail, so that when we go on with the glossy, that's it.
Okay, Sean here. We took off the hinges of the door, and we saw a YouTube video that said that you should boil it to get all the excess paint off of it.
I never showed you guys our hinges. They came out not 100% clean, but so much nicer than with the white paint. So we're putting those back on the doors, and then we're gonna attempt to get the doors back on, scrape the paint off the front of the doors and the inside, touch-ups. 125 days.
I'm over here painting the back part over here, and Celia comes over here and says, "Let me inspect your work." And she takes one step, and look at that. Step right into the lid. And you know how Celia, whenever she paints, she always get a thing
paint on my feet,
paint on
and
her
you call
feet.
me the little rascal.
Little rascal. No, took off her socks because she was wearing wool socks. And you know what? It's 11:30, so
Right.
I don't really blame you, but wowee.
Welcome to day 92 of the cabinet makeover. Last night, we came so close to finishing. Painted, front side of the doors, painted. And now we're just doing some touch-ups, the back sides of the doors, and then we are done painting.
Time to reattach the doors, and I'm
Sean
very
loses
nervous.
everything.
I couldn't find the microphone.
Never knows where the things are.
Look at how good my forearms look.
Okay.
Specifically in All right, so he's gonna try to attempt.
You gotta be on the outside.
Oh, cream on the outside, clean on the inside. Football players don't shave their beard. I haven't showered since we started this.
Nobody needed to know that.
I stink.
Stop talking and pay attention to me.
I can't see. My foot is hurting so bad.
I'm helping. Up. Up. Not out. Up.
How you? Oh my God. My shin.
Okay. Hold on.
I'm holding up with my toes. My shin is finna explode. Hurry up. Celia!
Okay, stop. Stop.
I'm gonna die.
Okay.
Oh my. Come on, bro!
I am crying.
My shin. Uh-oh. We had to switch the hinges. But yeah.
And now the scraping and touching up begins. Continues.
I'm actually happy
Oh.
about the progress we've made.
Me too, Sean. I think last night's kind of scary long marathon session was probably a good call.
It wasn't scary.
It was scary long. Mm. And now that you figured out that there actually is a blade that goes in the paint scraper, it's making
I was worried about that.
so much easier.
I messed up. If you guys watch the vlogs, you guys will see we were scraping this without a blade in it.
I mean, I didn't know either. We've never used a paint scraper before, so
yeah.
Learning curve.
So we got the doors back on without much problems. Without many problems, without 99 problems. And when we put them on, we realized that we still needed to make some touch-ups to the wood. So Celia is just adding those now. And then we're gonna let this dry overnight. And then we'll scrape again in the morning. And then I promise that we are going to have a finished cabinet. During the course of this video, you might have noticed that the window is very cloudy, dirty. I hate it. I want it clean. If you guys have been following us for a while, you guys know that I'm obsessed with clean glass, okay? I will scrub like a madman until I could see the little bing. But in order to effectively clean your windows, you need to have 3 steps, okay? You need to liberally wet your window.
He means too much.
Then you need to wipe that down. And then the key is your microfiber, okay? Microfiber. So here I go, cleaning our windows.
And work in circles, I think you mean buff.
So you always talk about what I think I mean.
Well, because
I know what I meant. I meant work in circles.
Buff.
Here's the finished product. Very clean, very clear, very happy.
Okay, we're nearing the end and we're ready to reattach our handles. This is the one I glued back together. I'm leaving the handles the original color just as A, to break up the color, and B, as a pay tribute to the original color of the cabinet.
I didn't record all that. It's been about 5 minutes since Celia been screwing this one screw in. She's still turning it, look. Is it going in?
It is. Okay, we're ready to put the shelves back in. Quick note on the back. Initially, I wanted to put the piece of wood on the back and paint it in the red color so that you would be sure to see the red. Well, that's no longer an issue. Someone also suggested in the comments of the first video a peel and stick like wallpaper or contact paper, and that's also a really good idea. I already have a plan for the wood that I purchased for this, so it will get used, but for now, because the entire cabinet is red, I think we see the red and we can let the mirror live.
This is where everything has been living for the past 2 weeks. And we finally
And I've been sitting right here eating dinner every day, scared that I was gonna bust my head.
Probably got a mild concussion. Anyway, time to put all this stuff
back in the cabinet.
back into the cabinet.
We did it. It's done. I love the red. However, we didn't paint the knobs, but now that they're on here all together, I think they should be red. However, number 2, we're not doing that right now. We need a break from this whole thing. So it's gonna stay like this. I am interested to hear what you guys have to say though. So let me know down in the comments, should we leave them white or should we paint them red or should we go with a whole nother color altogether? But the cabinet is finished. Step 1 of the dining room makeover is finally done. It took a whole 2 weeks, 10 days, but we are happy that it is done. Let's give you some really nice reveal shots. If you see some things that need to be touched up or scraped off, just know that we see them too, okay? But we're done. So I'm gonna pour myself something to drink, maybe a little Crown Peach, okay? And I'm gonna kick my feet up. So thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to check out Bright Sellers. You will find the link down in the description. If you ever wanna support what we're doing on this channel, support our sponsors, but also feel free to buy us a coffee. Also linked down in the description. Hope you guys have a happy holiday season and thank you so much for watching. Bye.